Of course we'll find a way to play it. After they got a 5-star last night, they found some length and girth.
This is The Joe Gaither Show on BamaCentral.com.
Good morning, Tuscaloosa. Good morning, Tuscaloosa, Internet world, West Alabama. How are we doing today on a Friday? It is the Joe Gaither Show on Bama Central, BamaCentral.com. You're checking us out on the Bama Central YouTube channel, Facebook page. You're on my own social media machines at Joe Gaither6. Today you're at Theo Fernandez _, and at Henry Sklar. As we integrate new voices into the program, we're going to have a lot of fun right here in the Derek Daniel State Farm Studios, right here off McFarland Boulevard. Call Derek today for all of your insurance needs. Cannot wait to get you guys going with Derek. Call him at 205-758-3391. Home, life, auto insurance. Henry, you're renting your place, right?
Yes, I am.
You got to get some renter's insurance with Derek Daniel to protect all your nice things, your big TVs, your PlayStations, your Xboxes, everything that's in your apartment. You can get some renter's insurance by calling 205-758-3391. Like a good neighbor, Derek Daniel is there. And it's, man, goodness gracious, Theo, it's the last Friday without football. Ooh, let's mute your computer so we're not double micing that boy right there. Perfect. And that's going to make our camera go a little funky, right? So I'll leave that to you. That'll work. That's better. That'll work. That's better.
Put Theo in the corner like he deserves.
Bring that mic just a hair closer to you so I can hear you even better. We're gonna have a lot of fun in the Derek Daniel State Farm Studios. We're gonna get to know Henry Sklar, new Bama Central intern, gets going this football season. We're going to talk about SEC 9-game schedule. Praise the Lord. Great job, Greg Sankey. The powers that be, everybody coming together to make the right decision. SEC moving to 9 games. We'll talk a little golf. We'll have a lot of fun right here on a Friday. So thanks everybody for joining us. Join us on the comment section. Leave me a comment, question, query, or complaint right there in all those comments areas. Bama Central on the YouTube channel. We get a lot of Florida State fans in the YouTube comments right now. If you're a Florida State fan, you can leave a voicemail for the show at 205-462-7340, extension 800. So with that, I'm going to a little high school football game tonight, Theo. We're doing County High and Central, but my man Derek Daniel's son, Caden, is playing his first middle school jamboree tonight. So we're looking forward to tomorrow. Eccles Middle School is going to be doing a jamboree, and watch out for Caden Daniel, outside linebacker, tomorrow.
We'll be keeping an eye out for him on the high school level in a couple of years. That's going to be a good player, I hope.
Absolutely. So it's tomorrow at the Jamboree. Jamboree's a little shorter. I would say he's going to have 4 sacks and a couple tackles for loss, pass breakups on the outside line, but it's a Jamboree, a little shorter. So we'll give him a sack and a half for Caden Daniel, a sack and a half, a pass breakup. He's going to jump up and bat that ball down and really get his nose into the action tomorrow at Eccles Middle School.
I'll be betting all his overs.
That's right. So good luck to you, Caden. We hope that you have a great kickoff to your middle school season. Man, I cannot wait because it's really here. The Bears play tonight. Last preseason game. Get that hooey out of the way.
You see the Giants yesterday?
No, I didn't.
42-10 over the Patriots. 3-0 in preseason.
Preseason champs.
NFC East champs.
Oh, it's the hope that kills him.
I did see the gif or the meme of somebody feeding Jameis Winston the W.
Jackson
and he
Dart fed that to him. Our QB room's on. Tommy DeVito went crazy too. I think it was 17-20 with 3 touchdowns.
All right, so give me just the basic. Did were the Patriots playing starters and were y'all playing starters?
Everyone was playing bench guys.
But bench guys on both sides.
Yeah.
All right. Well, tonight the Bears are playing starters.
Really?
Against the Chiefs. So we'll see how they do. Last time I think I died and I think I died and went to heaven on this past Sunday when the Bears played against whoever they destroyed. Not the Dolphins. That was the first week. Who was it? Sunday.
You were tweeting about it.
You're the Bears fan here, man.
Who's playing something? It's your computer.
That's my computer.
That's a fine. That's absolutely a fine. One. Yeah, no, the Bills. We dominated the Bills 38-0. Yeah, so that was fun. But the Bills didn't play their starters, so hard to know exactly really what it meant, but fun to see high level execution. That's what you're looking
Am I going to
for.
be able to trust Rome Odunze as a regular fantasy starter, as a good flex guy? You think?
Yes, he's going to overtake. He's going to overtake DJ Moore.
Really?
You know, I got Luther Burden on my dynasty team.
Oh.
I want to see some magic out of him this year. Rookie season. Let's see it. Let's see it.
I think that you will. I think the passing offense is going to be electric. Sneaky play if you are if they've already taken Rome Odunze, they've already taken DJ Moore and Luther Burton, Olamide Zaccheaus. If you can get him in your last round, or you can get him as a UDFA on your bench, Olamide Zaccheaus is going to be high ceiling player on your fantasy football team.
Nah, that's like a week 4, week 5 waiver pickup.
Exactly.
You got to wait on that.
That's
one.
an Eagles legend right there. See, 2 years ago, he was on the Super Bowl roster,
and he's great. So he's been great so far. So, well, all right, let's get into the show here. Let's get into it by starting by introducing Henry Sklar and figuring out who the hell this guy is sitting next to me, figuring out what he's doing, why in the world we should have him as a regular member of the show. We're going to let him speak for himself. Henry, good morning. How are you, sir? Usually I say good morning and how are you to Theo, but, screw it. We can put him off the corner like you said for a second. How are you?
I'm doing great this morning. You know, it's a beautiful Friday. First Friday of the school
It's a
year.
beautiful morning.
First Friday of the school year. Feels good to be almost through with the first week of classes. You know, got one more lecture today.
You got class?
Yeah, sadly, I couldn't get no Fridays.
The kids go to class? Keep going.
Yeah, but we got a bio lecture later today, so we'll be there locked in.
Biology is important. You got to know how your body works.
Yep. Last natural science credit, I believe, on my major or on my degree. So that's cool. We'll get that over with this semester and move on. But yeah, it's great to be here. Just to introduce myself. Started with Bama Central in May, June.
You haven't done anything with us. Let's be honest. You've done a little bit. You've written what? What's your article count right now?
I think I'm around 8, 9.
Yes. So
I've been contributing on roll call. I got 2 pretty good feature interviews.
I do agree with that.
Yeah, but I'm getting into the swing of fit things. For those who don't know, I live in St. Petersburg, Florida, Tampa Bay area, kind of around 30 minutes from where IMG Academy is. They'll be in Hoover tonight playing against the Buccaneers. But yeah, I lived in Florida over the summer, so I wasn't around. Couldn't do stuff to the extent that
there's no internet in St. Pete.
The weather there our Wi-Fi is always crashing out because every night at the same time it rains in St. Pete. You can see the clouds rolling in over the bay. It's pretty funny, but yeah, I mean that's a ReliaQuest Bowl reference as well, Tampa, Florida. So I guess I'll move on from that. But yeah, I was there over the summer.
Are you nervous? Hold on. Are you nervous?
Am I nervous?
Yeah.
No.
All right. Take a deep breath and then keep going. Let's go. And then keep going.
I lived in Florida over the summer. Great to be back in Tuscaloosa. I'm a junior here. I'm a news media major focusing in sports with a general business minor. I'm a big Philadelphia sports fan.
Go Birds, baby.
Go Birds, Super Bowl champs. Theo's shaking his head over there, but
that's okay.
Eagles own him, so it's chill. Love the Sixers. Pretty big Phillies fan as well.
Do you trust the process?
Well, yeah, I'm originally from New Jersey. Grew up there.
You get that reference?
Trust the process.
Do you trust the process?
We're still trusting the process. I think I got one more year in me.
The process is dead, man. Let it
go. Keep going.
But yeah, I'm originally from New Jersey. I grew up there, lived there for around 12 or 13 years before my family moved to Alabama. My junior year of high school, entering my junior year.
Where'd you go to high school in those junior years?
I went to Homewood for my junior and senior year. We had a
Homewood Patriots, right?
Homewood Patriots, yes sir.
Go Patriots.
Pretty good run my senior year. We got to the state semifinal, lost to Ryan Williams and Saraland.
Was that Chris Fazina?
No, he was at Briarwood.
Okay,
but yes,
all right, keep going.
He was on the team that year. Yeah, and ever since I moved to Alabama, you know, I fell in love with Tuscaloosa and the university, and now we're here, just starting out my junior year. Yeah, I mean, about me, I love golf. I think everybody knows that. We're gonna get into that today. Big golf fan. I have a dog. She's about a year old. Her name is Coco, little Chiweenie.
A dog at the home or up here in Tuscaloosa?
Yeah. My mom wouldn't let me bring her, but
so it's your mom's dog is what it is.
Yeah, well, it's my mom's dog pretty much.
There you go.
She's a mama's girl.
That's okay. That's okay. We're just keeping it honest around here. It's not your dog. It's your mom's dog.
What else do I like doing? I DJ. I love music.
You DJ?
Yeah, this might be new for you to learn.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm here. We're here. Let's get it rolling. We're here.
All right. So you basically, I asked you last week if you listened to Levitard show, and it's fine that you said you're familiar, but you never listened to it. Their main producer DJs on the side, and what he does in the show that you might have to like think about and pick up is he takes sound bites of people. What's a Theo catchphrase? Theo, you got any catchphrases?
I don't think I have a catchphrase yet. I might have to start working on that one.
Perfect. All right. So what he does is he takes sound bites and he works them in as drops in his EDMs, and so they play tracks of EDM tracks, and it's just drops of the sound. People just with what they had to say the day before, and it is hilarious. You'll have to check out Mike Ryan. Check out some of Mike Ryan's work as he works in some of their drops. We can pick that up.
It's actually pretty crazy. A lot of high profile people have the hobby of DJing. This dude, David M. Solomon, I got him pulled up on my computer right here. He is a investment banker, works for Goldman Sachs. For those who are familiar with the investment banking industry and just finance in general, Goldman Sachs is huge. We'll leave it at that. But he's a DJ himself. I believe there's also a cardinal in the Catholic Church who lives at the Vatican who's a DJ. It's a very lucrative side hustle if you figure it out for some of these people. So
my girlfriend is taking some DJ classes. To be honest with you, she got herself a turntable. She's trying to figure it out. Do you know a guy named Tony Sakalis? Because he's commenting. Wait, is that DJ SKL in the Joe Gaither show? Say something nice about Tony. Because we love him.
Tony, best boss ever.
Ooh,
best boss ever.
I have a big bar to get to then.
Great mentor, great person to learn from. Last year was very fun.
Yeah, absolutely. If you guys are missing Tony Sakalis' football coverage, you can follow Tony as he's been working covering the UAB Blazers. And I know that the Blazers are being covered better than they probably ever have been covered in the entire program's history with Tony Sakalis on the pen. All right, Henry. So you golf guy, football guy, Philly guy, New Jersey guy, Bradenton, Florida, Tampa guy, Homewood guy. How do you know Theo?
How do I know Theo? Yeah, me and Theo actually met pretty early on in college. We were both writing for the Crimson White, the student newspaper. We kind of just linked up.
Whoa, Paul.
I don't remember. When was the exact moment we met? Was it a staff meeting? I think it was the first staff meeting.
Yeah, I think it was like an intro, like they were doing like an open house thing, I think.
Yeah, I can't quite remember, but
it was real early in the year.
Yeah, me and Theo just became friends pretty quick. I mean, both like sports, and we have a lot of similar interests. And
Theo, do you echo these sentiments, friends?
Yeah, I mean, it'd be a lot easier if it weren't for all this Philly stuff. But
my roommate Anthony, who's definitely not listening, he's definitely asleep right now. He's the Yankees fan in my house, so Theo can come over and relate a lot to him.
That works out a lot. Yeah. We're able to put Henry in his place a lot together, so that is much appreciated.
Roman Anthony has something to say about that. That's all I got to say.
You need to get your man Anthony up and at him earlier.
Yeah,
the day is on. If he's still asleep, I'm sorry, the day is on.
We've got a decent classes on Friday, so
that's no excuse. That means it's a great day to get things done. We got a lot of people watching us getting things done or avoiding getting things done, and I appreciate them very, very much on the YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. So let's get into something actually significant here. Theo, 2 seconds. How are you? We'll act like we care about you too.
Yeah, I'm willing to. Look. I'm always willing to help out other, interns trying to rise the ranks, and more than willing to step aside, let this kid here get some reps on air. So that's one of the things that's great about this show, giving a voice to people who are coming up from nothing. So we're helping Henry out here, huh?
We're trying to. So why don't you lead us right into yesterday's announcement? We had a lot of fun down at Two Dimes watching the Jamie Johnson concert. But before we got down there, the SEC and Greg Sankey dropped a huge bomb for the 2026 season. And thank the Lord that they did. Announcing a move to 9-game schedule. So what did they actually announce? And we'll start reacting to that guy.
Okay, so we've got a 9-game schedule. We're going to continue with no division, so every year top 2 teams will still be in the championship just by record. We're all going to get, every team's going to get 3 annual opponents kept permanently. No reason to assume it won't be Auburn, Tennessee, LSU for Bama. And then the other 6 games are going to rotate with every other team in the conference. So that works out pretty perfectly because we are going to have, you're going to play every team in the conference every other year.
And that's what it should be. Oh, that wasn't the right dial. Do you have the show open on your computer?
No, I didn't know. I had it open earlier. That's what was playing noise a minute ago. But
That's okay. So 9-game schedule, Henry Sklar. And are you too young to remember 2020?
Oh no, trust me. I was watching 2020.
Okay, just checking. 2020 was obviously a terrible year for the country, big old COVID year. Everybody, that has different feelings on that, but it was great on the field in the SEC with 10 SEC games, no non-conference games. Really, really fun year, and obviously Alabama absolutely dominated, so it made it even more fun. But this is the right move. This is absolutely the right move. You go to a 9-game schedule because look. Last year, when the playoff committee was picking teams, when they were picking between SMU, Alabama, South Carolina, who was the other? Ole Miss. Ole Miss was the other SEC team. The only thing that the people outside of the SEC could come up with was, well, y'all don't play a 9-game schedule. ACC does. We play Big Ten. We play a 9-game schedule. Y'all need to play 9 games. Meanwhile, their 9th game is bleeping Rutgers. Their 9th game is bleeping Syracuse. Like, this is not a real. This isn't the same apples to apples conversation. Alabama's 8th game ends up last year at Oklahoma. Right, Oklahoma, Auburn. You end up with those are the bottom barrel of the teams of the league last year. You're not playing. Give me Wake Forest. Give me your favorite bottom feeder in the ACC.
I think I'd go Wake.
I like Cuse.
Syracuse, Wake, yeah, exactly. And then for the Big Ten, Northwestern,
Purdue.
Yes, exactly. Illinois got good, yes. Okay, let's see. They ended up UCLA is a Big Ten team. Like, these are not great programs. At least currently, they've had different points where they were good. UCLA definitely did, but
Northwestern almost won a conference championship 2020 that year.
They got robbed that year.
Great. They got rid of Pat Fitzgerald because he lost control of the program, and yeah, the Wildcats are not. That's not a real college football program competing
they don't
with
even
Ohio
play in a real
State.
Stadium,
Right? So that was the big argument. Y'all don't play 9 games. We play 9 games. You eliminate this, Greg, by moving it up. You get rid of one of the two. Like, sorry, Eastern Illinois this year, ULM this coming year. Like, you don't need to be playing these games. At least, luckily for Alabama and Alabama fans, you've got Wisconsin and Florida State as well. So you're giving the fans something to really get excited for, especially in this opener and and then the third week with Wisconsin. But like, you pull up Georgia's non-conference schedule. Georgia has a horrid non-conference schedule, and I'm sorry, I've got a lot of dog fans in my family who are probably upset with me exposing this, but they're playing like Marshall and UT Martin and like Sanford State and like Western Tech, Carolina. Who's their non-conference?
Marshall, Austin Peay,
yeah,
and Charlotte.
Okay,
and then Georgia.
And
Tech.
we're playing Georgia Tech. Great. You could argue Georgia Tech, one of those ACC bottom feeders. Sometimes
Haynes King's got them good right now, at least.
Sometimes up, sometimes down, but they're not an ACC power. They're not Clemson. You're not faded like South Carolina is, where you're playing Clemson. You're not faded like Florida is, where you've got Florida State. And I know Florida State was bad last year, but it's traditionally pretty good and traditionally better than Georgia Tech. But we got Georgia Tech, so we can get away with Austin Peay and Marshall and then we had they had somebody scheduled, but they canceled it. They had UCLA scheduled, didn't they? But both sides ended up canceling it because they didn't know. Oh, we want extra home games, and we want to make sure that we're in the college football playoff. And get out of here with that hooey. So they announced the 9-game schedule, but that wasn't the only announcement. Scroll a little lower in these graphics. Isn't there a requirement to play one other team that's in the Power 4?
Yeah, so everyone's going to play at least one Power 4 team, which was put in for the schools for the South Carolina, Florida, Georgia that have that rivalry baked in, which I absolutely love that rule.
Yeah, absolutely. So Georgia, you still get to play, oh, well, we're playing Georgia Tech already, but you got to do something more than Austin P, than Marshall. Like, we have to do everything we can in the media sphere, Theo, to shame these teams that are playing buy games. And I know the opposite end of the coin is, well, the buy teams, they need the money. They need the money. Well, you're not playing the same sport. You're not playing the same, so don't act like you are. Don't try to act like you are playing the same sport. Funding football at that high of a level. If you can't afford it, to where you need $1 million from Alabama, ULM, Eastern Illinois to run your program, maybe you don't need to be running a program. Maybe you don't need to be playing college football at this level. Maybe you need to be playing Division II football, 1AA football. Look yourself in the mirror, examine your finances, right? Personal finance. You guys are both finance guys, sort of. Examine your personal finances. If you need handouts from other organizations, maybe you shouldn't be playing Division I football.
You see, you kind of lost me on that take, Joe. I can't get behind that one. What happens to the sport if you start to lose all of those? We're at what, 134, 135 FBS schools right now. I think if we eliminate the buys, I mean, we're dropping probably below 100 over the next decade.
Fine.
Why do we want that?
Because they can go play Division I AA. They can go play Division II. They can go play according to their size. They can go play to what they can afford. Because, look, if your team 134, if your team 128, if your team 105, if your team 75, you're not playing the same sport as Alabama.
So they don't deserve to be in the FBS and still compete for their conference.
But they're not competing for anything.
You still have the chance to make it into a bowl game, into, potentially.
Schools lose money on bowl games.
It doesn't matter. I mean, that's part of what makes the sport so great.
They can still play some bowl games between D1 AA teams.
All right. Navy went out last year and beat Oklahoma in a bowl game. Was that not incredible? Was that not a great moment?
Who cares about a bowl game win or loss? It's an exhibition.
Henry, you following me here?
Henry, go ahead. Chime in.
I don't know.
You can agree with or disagree with me. It won't affect your standing here. Be yourself.
I mean, I don't think that the end solution to save college football should be dropping teams down and relegating them, essentially.
Well, I'm not relegating them.
That's what you're basically vouching
for. I'm putting them in the place that they actually are. Is Mississippi State actually competing with Alabama?
But
so you want to see the super conference?
You want to. So you're arguing for a super conference. You're arguing for the separation of college football as we know it.
Yes, because that's what's going to happen eventually, anyways. And as a fan, I do not give a rip about Alabama playing ULM or Eastern Illinois. Those are going to be weeks that I sleep in, unless. You need to get. I've done this before, Henry. I've done this take before. When Alabama plays Eastern Illinois, there needs to be some sort of a rule to where Ty Simpson can't play. You got to play Austin Mack or Keelan Russell. You've got to play the freshmen. Give the coaches some incentive to play the younger players, to play the backups right off the bat. And I know, what App State beat Michigan, you got to be ready for any team. If Alabama is Alabama, then the number twos can go out there and smoke Eastern Illinois.
I don't know, Joe. Alabama wasn't Alabama when they played Tampa School UCF last season. SF, yeah, sorry. But
what about even though another one? What about the Citadel going out and being 10-10 with Alabama, I believe was the score at the half.
Look up the final score.
It doesn't matter. That was
I don't care any score at halftime.
That was one of the coolest moments for that whole program. All the players involved, the fan base that follows them. I think that,
but I don't care about any halftime score. That's not the whole game.
Game in particular doesn't matter all that much, but
Georgia Southern ran for 300 yards against Alabama in 2012. Look at the final score there. It was not really as close as people. Whoa, Georgia Southern came in here and ran through there like a tin horn.
Okay, and what about all of the Georgia Southern players that, as a result of being able to play these games, having a program that stays in FBS, are able to transfer up to bigger schools?
You can put that same tape out there when you're playing the same types of school that you're out there with.
College football, with the way it's changing already, fundamentally flipped on its head. What you are calling for here is I would say, basically the official death of college football as we know it, the final nail in the coffin.
Death of
want that.
college football. That's a joke. You'll still be playing college football.
We'll still be playing, we'll
watching
still
college
be
football.
watching, but it will be a fundamentally different sport.
But it'll be the sport that we're actually playing anyways. Is Rutgers competing for a Big Ten title?
Rutgers is not the right example here.
They're
That's
not.
a
I don't
very-
think so
Is
either.
Purdue competing for a Big
Purdue
Ten
is
title?
not the right example. I feel like you're referring to the way smaller.
We
group
are,
of
but like,
five.
I'm
Purdue
examining
is not
all
a
of
group
it.
of 5 caliber.
Sure,
team.
perfect. But like,
They have the funding.
Yeah.
Do they
But
have the
with that
same level
being-
of funding as Alabama, as Georgia, as Michigan, Ohio State? No, but they have the funding. But I kind of find myself aligning on Theo's lines here, though. You're gonna take away these teams, the level of football that these teams have been playing at forever from these communities and this alumni base and those kids who are.
we haven't been playing Eastern Illinois forever. Alabama hasn't played Eastern Illinois forever. So the landing point here, gentlemen, is to where you're playing these 9 SEC games, right? And you've got 3 more empty spots. Greg Sankey just told you one of those empty spots has to be a Power 4 team because of 3 or 4 of our schools already have it baked in. You know, Kentucky playing Louisville, Florida State playing Florida playing Florida State, South Carolina playing Clemson, Georgia playing Georgia Tech. And so because those 4 schools have a Power 4 team baked into their schedule, everybody else has to as well. And now Alabama's abiding by this because their schedule going all the way out to like 2036, 33 has multiple Power 4 teams on it. Great. And I'm hoping none of them get canceled. You see one of the Twitter heads that seems to know something always ended up suggesting that maybe this West Virginia series is going to get canceled, and this Oklahoma State series is going to get canceled as well. Mr. Sankey, I'm on my knees begging you, do not cancel these games. If Alabama is Alabama, then you ain't afraid of anybody. You're playing high level football. You're going to Oklahoma State. You're going to West Virginia. You're bringing both those programs back in, and you're going 4-0. That's the bar. But the landing point is you play your 9 SEC games, you play your Power 4 game, and then you go out and you find, local closer schools. If you're going to pay some schools, closer schools.
Mm-hmm.
Pay Jacksonville State, pay South Alabama, pay Georgia State. We bring UT Chattanooga in here. Nobody. You should not be playing any Division I AA schools. Go find you a team from the MAC. Go find you a team from the Sun Belt. Nothing. Yeah. No, do not go lower. Who did we bring in last year? That was it wasn't Austin P. Was it UT Martin? That was I AA.
Was it Chattanooga? It was Chattanooga, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, perfect. And hello, I love my hometown, but Chattanooga should never be playing Alabama.
I agree there. I would love to see UAB and Troy and those schools making trips with us. And that, again, we've talked about this before on the show, though. Keeping money in the state, funding these schools around you. I support that idea. But I do think that the other 2 games on the schedule should be bye-type games.
I'll give you $5, UAB, to come on in here. Man up, draw it on the line. Come across this line, UAB.
The town of Monroe, Louisiana, loves football. They're obsessed with that team. And you make this about any Sun Belt school. This was one that works easy. Southeast loves football. Proud programs have had some measure of tradition, some measure of success. College football would not be the same at all, and I think it would be much worse out if we got to a point where those schools were not competing at the same level as the big guys.
But they're not. Well, they're not competing at the same level. Go ahead, Henry.
I understand that they're not competing at the same level, maybe resource-wise, financially, but you're suggesting we essentially relegate them to an FCS level.
Yes.
So the reason
Georgia
I
Southern
find myself
is how many time national champion do you
the reason I find myself
4?
not able to align with that is because you're going to take away scholarships from kids who have literally worked their whole life, kids who come from impoverished areas. I don't have the exact statistics.
This isn't charity, Henry.
That's literally, yes, this is. We're giving think about the kids that play for Georgia Southern that probably come from areas that there's kids on Alabama's roster all the way down to kids on Delaware's roster that comes from areas with no resources. They had nothing to get themselves or their family to the place that they are now without football. If you relegate them to FCS, schools lose.
But they're not really going to class, Henry.
If you relegate them to FCS, you're losing around 22 scholarships per program. If we relegate essentially half of the sport to the FCS level, I mean, do the math. What's 60 times 22? Like, you're losing that many scholarships. Those many kids are losing their opportunity to go to college for free, not only play football, but also get an education, set themselves up to have a financially successful future. That's where I find myself having trouble to allow myself. You're
get an academic scholarship.
Resources are going to programs are going to have to cut jobs. You're literally laying people off of work.
And going one step further.
Because listen, I understand we go to Alabama like we're supposed to be homers here. I love the program, but you are going to be taking away jobs from people, scholarships from kids, football away from communities because Alabama. Because the big dog said so. I just can't align myself with that personally.
But sorry. Georgia Southern is not competing with Alabama.
It does not matter.
Just look at it. They're not competitive.
That is not the point. And
so why are they in the same division?
There is no relegating these schools to FCS, because if they're forced to drop down to an FCS level, they can't sustain the rest of their D1 infrastructure. All of their money to fund all of these other sports comes purely from being in FBS, from having the opportunity to play at that level, from TV deals.
So we're all arguing for a flawed financial model.
Yes, it's college football here. You're losing the volleyball program. You're losing softball. You're losing most of your scholarships are getting cut. Swimming, track, that's out of there.
So you're just arguing for a flawed financial model.
Joe, this is not the NFL. This is not pro sports.
But it's operating as such at the highest levels of college football.
Yes, but we can still operate like that. And I understand that, look, the gap between Alabama and some of these other schools might continue to grow. It just might be the nature of the system that we're in right now. But it doesn't mean that we have to fully submit to this idea. It doesn't mean that we have to completely destroy college football. That's what I would call it.
My mother's got her master's degree from Georgia Southern, and I've got a lot of friends who are Georgia Southern Eagles, and so they'll probably be upset with me. But like, they will never make the play. They will never make noise in a 12-team playoff. They will never, if they qualify first, which is extremely unlikely. They will be blown out in the first round. Like, what are they doing? Like, my point is, the 133 is a stupid number to be playing football with, because only 40, 50 teams have a chance to actually make the playoff and win the national championship.
College football is not only about the playoff.
Should we relegate Vanderbilt? I mean, realistically, do they ever have a chance to win the SEC?
Yeah. Joe,
they had a chance last year.
State?
If we're having this argument, right?
Should Purdue and Northwestern be relegated with them too? They're never going to win.
We've got to keep our academic rating up with Vanderbilt.
Well, Joe, you're opening up a dangerous can of worms here. If we're talking about, we're relegating schools to FCS.
Diego Pavia said they're winning the national title this year, Henry.
Well, what's going to happen is eventually
I heard Delaware's quarterback said the same thing.
We're going to take the Vandies, the Purdues, the Rutgers, the Wake Forests, and we're going to put them into a lower level. It's just going to be the same version until we have a conference of 32 teams where they all compete.
Aren't you excited for Texas, Ohio State right off the bat?
Yes, I am. It'll be an awesome game. I'm also excited to watch a Tuesday night action.
But do you want to know why?
You're sick in the head.
Do you want to know why we're excited for Texas and Ohio State? Because even though it's different,
Julian Sayin versus Arch Manning, that's why.
Not even though, because it's different from past years, because the foundation of the sport has kind of crumbled a little bit. There's still the allure of, wow, this big out of conference matchup, week 1, 2 big out of conference teams that rarely face off. If we're going to relegate all these teams to FCS and we're getting that every year, why am I tuning in? The NFL plays on Sundays. I'll go watch my Eagles.
College football is fundamentally worse than the NFL, right? The level of play we're watching is worse than the NFL. So if you turn it into the NFL, if you turn it into just this big conference, then you've just created a worse version of what already exists, and you're losing everything that makes college football the amazing sport that it is.
So where are you landing? What should the schedule be, Theo and Henry?
You should have your non-conference games. I think we should finish out the series that we've already scheduled, and then as those end, we should set it with one out of conference, home and home every year. And then we should have two bye games. Two, pay teams twice a year to come up.
Are FCS schools eligible for this?
I mean, I think schools can make that decision.
North Dakota State and Nebraska last year. What was that? Or who did they play? North Dakota State? Was it Nebraska?
They've beaten a ton.
That was a great game.
They almost beat Colorado a few years back.
Sacramento State, they're making noise in the transfer portal. They're adding guys. I think they can compete with multiple FBS schools.
I think that, look, if Vandy wants to go and play Chattanooga, the bar is different for every school, right? When you get to a school like ULM, obviously you're paying, if you need one of those easier games ever, you're paying an FCS school. There are levels to college football everywhere.
Right, but we're covering Alabama here, so we're looking at it from an Alabama
We're looking at it from an Alabama perspective, and I think for Alabama, we should be bringing in local area FBS schools.
Henry?
I agree with Theo on the local part. Whenever I play college football, 26, 25 dynasties, I always try to create in-state rivalries between Alabama, UAB. I think it's fun. But I don't know. I don't have the answer. I'm not Greg Sankey. I'm not one of the guys wearing suits.
What, you're not?
That's being paid to decide this. But I just feel like ripping away the foundation from college football is not the answer here. That is not the path that we should be forging down. Would you have had this take 5 years ago?
Yes.
6 years ago?
Yes, because the bye game drives me absolutely insane.
I agree with the bye game, but I'm going back to your point of relegating schools to a lower level.
I mean, eventually that's what will
happen, unfortunately, but why is that what we want? I don't have to agree with
because those are wasted Saturdays, Henry. Those are wasted Saturdays.
Is it a wasted Saturday? Is getting to still go to a game, watch this amazing spectacle that is college football in Bryant-Denny Stadium? That is never a waste.
No, the spectacle is the story. The spectacle is the competition. The spectacle, the allure is, can the underdog beat the overdog? But
I
they
disagree.
can't.
I know a lot of people who can't afford to shell out $200, $300 to go to a SEC game. But hey, that Chattanooga game, $30 tickets.
They were giving the tickets away.
Yeah, a lot of people don't get that opportunity to experience Alabama football,
especially with the spring game being gone.
Yeah, I mean, shoot, that's a free game gone. I mean, I don't know.
College football is and has never been purely about just the championships. And I get that we're looking at this from Alabama's point of view here. Do you know how much the town of Corvallis, Oregon, was devastated by the Pac-12 fallout? We're suggesting doing this to all these towns, all these communities, all these fan bases that have built themselves up for almost a century now.
Let me interject myself here. My dad is an alumni of Temple University. He's from Philly. Go Owls. That's why I'm a Philly fan. And I grew up in New Jersey. So I know people aren't going to like this listening probably, but I had no connection to Alabama before I moved down here in 2021, 2020. I grew up a Temple fan. Temple is, I no joke, probably the worst program in all of FBS right now. They are terrible. The athletic department is so poorly run. They're failing out on coaching hires every 2 to 3 years. None of the sports are even competitive anymore. I mean, Temple is like what? The 9th most winningest college basketball program of all time. Mm-hmm. Not even a shell of their former selves in the American these days. But I promise you, those 2 years, 3 years we had with Matt Rule, we had PJ Walker, Tyler Matakevich, Robbie Anderson. We started off 7-0. We played Notre Dame. We were ranked 23rd in the country. We played Notre Dame at the Link on Halloween night in 2015. I believe that was when they had Will Fuller. Their quarterback was Deshaun Kaiser, I want to say. They had those guys. That was the most fun I've ever had watching college football. Philadelphia sold out Lincoln Financial Field for a Temple Owls game. Same stadium that Metallica just played in, the same stadium that the Super Bowl champions play in. And Philadelphia hosted a college game day and sold out Lincoln Financial Field for a Temple football game. What about a few years ago? I have a coworker back home. I worked at a breakfast shop over the summer. I have a coworker who's a proud Appalachian State alum, Sunbelt. She was telling me how much fun she had those 2 years when App State was on a roll, when they played James Madison in Virginia, and James Madison had game day. They went in and upset the undefeated Dukes.
She'd have a whole lot more fun if the App State Mountaineers were in the FCS playoffs and winning like they were, like they used to be.
And she'd have a lot less fun if they were playing one AA football or whatever you're suggesting.
But they were winning. They were winning championships.
I don't think they would have gotten college game day at that level, and I don't think they would have gotten that national attention if they were winning championships at that level.
Regardless. North Dakota State knows exactly who they are.
Okay, but they are a rare exception.
When was the last time you clicked on ESPN or The Athletic and you saw a North Dakota State article as front and center? I mean,
but you don't see an App State article.
Yeah, you do.
You can go find it.
North Dakota State.
Front and center of ESPN, per your example? No.
The Dakota, Montana schools are a complete exception because of where they are in the country and because they're in an area, one of the few places where there's nothing else going on, and they're able to, they will support that program no matter what.
There's some national parks out there, but
yeah, right. You go to the national park the day before the game. They are obsessed with their programs. You look at, all right, like University of Albany. That's one that I'm local to. My father went there. They were in the FCS playoffs a couple years ago, or I think either 23 or last year. They had a great season. They had a home playoff game. Nobody went. Nobody supported. Nobody cared. Like, the difference between FBS and FCS is so different, and we just cannot destroy this aspect of college football.
All right. We've had a lot of fun debating this. Let's move on to something new here. We're going to tell you about our friends Derek Daniel and move on. We're going to keep this 9-game news conversation going and turn it to something different. Boys, you need to be thinking about the 9 Alabama games you want to see next season, because this starts in 2026. So you can put your Greg Sankey hats on and come up with your slate of 9. Because Theo, correct me if I'm wrong, they're still keeping traditional rivalries.
Yep.
All right, 3 or 4 or 2. Did he announce it?
3. So it hasn't been confirmed who they'll be, but obviously.
All right, perfect. We'll save that, and here we go. We want to remind you that we're live in the Derek Daniel State Farm Studios. You can call Derek for all your insurance needs at 205-758-3391. Like a good neighbor, Derek Daniel is there. You can come find us. We're off McFarland Boulevard, just past the Tiger Rock and the Rustic Rehab, up here on the left on Highway 69 north into Northport. But Derek Daniel will cover really anything in Alabama. So give him a call today for your home, life, auto insurance needs. My man Red is upstairs. He already saved Theo a lot of money last week on his car insurance. Derek, a couple of weeks ago, really saved me on a homeowner's issue. I had a limb fall on the house, and he really walked me step by step and hooked me up with electricians and people and repairman to get me really back to my life in a very quick fashion. So I really, really appreciate Derek, not only for sponsoring the program, but for being a real dang good insurance agent, helping me out when I was in need. So call him today. He'll help you out when you're in need at 205-758-3391. All right, guys, we're having fun today in the Derek Daniel State Farm Studios on a Friday. All that aside, Alabama's playing 9 games next year, and our Bama Central cohorts put that out last night, and the comment on the Facebook was, "What 9 games do you want to see next season?" Are we all in agreement that the 3 rivalry games are going to be Tennessee, LSU, and Auburn? Does anyone want to argue any of those 3?
No argument.
No argument here.
Perfect. We're moving on. So 6 conference games. 6 conference games. Who did I say last night? I said I want to see Kentucky. I want to see Texas. I want to see Florida. I want to see Ole Miss, Mississippi State, and Arkansas. Was who I want to see on the schedule next year for the Crimson Tide. Henry, you just gave me a look. What are the 6 teams you want to see, or which one of those 6 got you that look?
Why do you want to play Kentucky and Mississippi State? I thought they were lower level programs.
I want to see them because they weren't on the schedule the last 2 years. And I'm a big believer that if you are in the conference for 4 years, you should be playing almost every school home and away. I did love that as, hey, the next 2 years we're playing 8 games and we're kind of rotate some stuff up. I'm a big proponent of, like, you're going to Georgia this year. You've been to Georgia 4 times since 1995. What? That's ridiculous. That is an insane stat. You should be going to Georgia every third, every fourth year for sure. And so Alabama, you've got the slate of 8 teams that you played this year with the 3 rivals. So you're not taking LSU, Auburn, and Tennessee away. So you had 5 teams that you're playing. You played them home and away the last 2 seasons. Dump all 5 of them. Dump all 5 of those opponents and give me 6 newbies.
Well, so here's the thing that I think we still need more clarification on with this new format. Once they make the schedule, right? They give us our teams. It sounds like it'll just be a set rotation, right? Where every year we
Perfect.
our 2026 schedule is the same as our 28, as the same as our 30, and so on.
Yep.
So you have to really be careful with, I think, how you schedule, how you distribute some of those tougher versus easier matchups. So if that means that we have to rework one of the teams we played the last 2 years into the 6, I'd be okay with that.
So 6 and 6 is 12, and plus your 3 is 15. Your 15 opponents,
And then,
right?
yeah.
So you're going to play 6 teams next year outside of the 3 set teams. Then you'll go flip flop home and away, whoever you played, and then that third year you lose 6 and you add 6, and you'll still keep the 3, and the math works out.
Yeah.
So for this year, this coming year, it'll be 26 and 27 opponents will be the same as 30 and 31 opponents.
Yes.
I don't know if I love that.
Why not?
I feel like there's got to be a way that they can add some more. I mean, not for lack of a better word, chaos into that. I mean, it just feels kind of cookie cutter to me to give a team the same schedule for every 2 years for the rest of the time.
With that being said, you're a student on campus, right? You know that in your 4 years, you will get to see every SEC team come through. I think that's perfect. I have no problem at all.
And you get to schedule a road trip to every place you want to go.
Yeah. I think it's awesome. Like, Henry, we would have gone our whole time here at Alabama without seeing so many schools if it weren't for the way this schedule is going to work out.
Yeah. I mean, that's a fair point. I mean, there are some teams that I would love to see.
You can take that.
Okay, there we go. There are some teams that I would love to see. I mean, I definitely want to play Florida. I feel like those are 2 very proud programs with a lot of tradition in the SEC, and I feel like we haven't played them a lot. When was the last time? 2021 with
That sounds about right.
Yeah, 2021. I believe we played them in the Swamp. I'd love to play Florida. Theo, do you got any teams that are definitely on the top of your mind?
Well,
yes,
Florida
six,
was number
definitely
1.
teams. 6 teams.
I want to play a conference game against Texas because we played the 2 out of conference games. I want to see them and I want to see the SEC logo at DKR.
Yeah.
I want to play Texas
And
again.
that was our first real home game as freshmen too.
Yep.
Man, that ending.
That was a night, man. That was an amazing night. Oh my gosh.
Florida is easily number 1 for me. I've watched them face off in the SEC championship. I grew up, in the wake of the Tebow era, so always hearing so much about the
right over
program.
left.
Like I would very excited to hopefully see Florida, and I'll absolutely drive down to Gainesville next year if it's on the road. And I think this schedule is perfect. I think that.
So 6 teams. Let's spit them out, boys.
You want to go first, Henry?
Yeah, I'll go off the top of the dome. Florida, I'd love to see. I think South Carolina, even though we played them these last 2 years, that would be a great team to play again.
Keep going. Don't let me stop you.
South Carolina, rising program. Sellers is going to be gone, so we'll see how post Lenore Sellers area. Granted, there's a lot of time to go before he essentially declares for the draft, but he's looking to be one of the top prospects. So we got Florida, South Carolina. We had Georgia these past 2 years. I'll pass over them. I'd love to play Mississippi State again. I feel like that hour apart game is kind of special. That's the closest school in proximity to Alabama. So I think that's always a fun trip to make on either side. What am I at, 3 now?
You can't count? Come on, brother.
I'm at 4 now because I had Texas, South Carolina, Florida, and Mississippi State. Oof.
So you got to have some balance in your schedule. That's why I threw Kentucky and State
I'll
in there.
throw
and
Vandy
Arkansas
back in because Vandy, they're on the rise too, but it's going to be the post Pavia era for them. So, and that rivalry now is a little more juice. That's 5. And my 5th team, I feel like we need another tough test in.
Gig 'em.
Yeah, Texas A&M. That's a good one. I like that.
All right. I've got my 6 here, and I'll give you all the reasoning. I'm start Arkansas, relatively easier game, old SEC West opponent. I think that's a good start. Guy we haven't played in a while. Florida, which we just talked about. I'll go bring back State. Also say go Ole Miss.
Oh yeah,
I think that's one that we should get back on there for
Get your
this year,
popcorn
this
ready.
rotation. I'll go Texas is the 5th. And then, so obviously, with Texas, A&M, Oklahoma, Missouri, like those are your furthest trips. So I think it should be 2 and 2. Those guys split up. So I think I'll go Texas and then Missouri, keeping A&M and Oklahoma on the other cycle. And I think that gives you a good balance of, you got Texas, Ole Miss, Florida. You got some of the higher profile guys on this one, and then that other rotation then would be Vandy, A&M, Oklahoma, Kentucky, Georgia. Who am I missing? South Carolina.
See, I think it's great. That's gonna be so much fun. 9 games is perfect. Thank
And
you, Greg.
Now, the one thing I do want to bring up, though, is I have it pulled up on my computer right here. But the fixed 3 teams, the rivals, they're calling it, I feel like they're really unbalanced just looking at it. I mean, Tennessee gets Vandy, Bama, and Kentucky.
It's tradition.
Tennessee doesn't get.
So now you care about tradition when it comes to Tennessee playing Vandy. But
Hold on. So Tennessee, Florida.
Care about tradition when it's the top end of college football, yes. And the SEC is the top end of college
back
football.
to my point. Tennessee gets to play Vandy, Alabama, and Kentucky. I mean, let's just be frank. That's one tough game on that. Well, Auburn has to play Alabama, Georgia, and Florida. I mean, Auburn
Auburn, you shouldn't have started the Deep South's oldest rivalry with the Florida Gators. You shouldn't be playing in the cocktail party, with the Auburn with Georgia, right? Oh, gosh. Give me those Auburn ones again. Auburn is Georgia. Auburn is Alabama and LSU, right?
Florida.
Florida, not LSU?
I don't think these aren't official, but this is just
Because if we're going off the 3 teams that the schools have right now. So I've heard speculation when people were proposing this schedule that it would be every 10 years you reevaluate the rivalries, obviously as stuff changes and all that. And what I like is that you'll be able to maintain those kind of secondary rivalries with just about everyone. Think
Alabama, Ole Miss. You're still going to get them.
State, 2 closest teams in the SEC to each other. That game will always still have a little bit of juice. It's not like you'll ever be going 3-4 years without playing them.
Georgia has Florida, Auburn, and Tennessee, right? No, because Tennessee has Kentucky. So Georgia
Auburn,
has
Florida, South Carolina.
Great.
I mean, talk about tradition. We're getting rid of the Golden Boot game in this. LSU doesn't have Arkansas scheduled on a fixed, according to this concept.
So sad.
Someone should.
Or Texas A&M isn't going to get to play Arkansas in their annual Jerry World game.
Well, that is sad to me.
Tradition.
You know what tradition supersedes that for A&M? Texas, Oklahoma, Missouri. Texas, Oklahoma, LSU. There you go.
I think we've just created a system where even if any group of fans doesn't get exactly the matchup of 3 rivals that they want, you'll still be able to see these schools all the time. And I love.
Okay, but this goes back to the initial argument, though, that this whole thing is happening because of Auburn is going to be forced to play Alabama, Georgia, Florida. I'm not arguing against the tradition of those games, but why would Auburn want to go out and be forced to schedule a tough Power 5 team if another team like Tennessee automatically has 2 layups on the schedule? That's kind of the whole. I feel like that's the whole. We're getting back to the roots of this whole thing.
You can't make everyone happy.
Amen.
And I think this is about as close as you're going to get. Personally, and obviously, look, we can't really talk.
Not fair for Auburn.
Right. And look, Alabama, we're playing one of the toughest combination of rivals, right?
Yeah, Alabama got a brutal draw.
I have no qualms at all about having to play these games.
But for the big dog, Henry, we should get
Yeah.
the brutal draw.
And obviously for Auburn, it is a little worse with the state of their
Why
program.
should we get the okay? I'll play devil's advocate here.
Okay.
Why should we get the bigger draw? I feel like
To prove it, baby.
what are we who are we
Come
proving
after
to?
me.
Alabama has 18 national
Yeah.
titles. What do we need to prove anymore? Why should Greg Byrne and Kalen DeBoer want to go out and schedule Ohio State when they can easily just mail it in and go play at Chattanooga and have their 12-team playoff berth?
Because that's not football.
Whoa, but
Yeah, Joe, you're contradicting
I
yourself
feel like
right
you're
here.
getting.
You should
starting
go
to get
play
it now.
Ohio
You're
State.
starting to get it now.
You should go play Ohio State. Don't play
They
Chattanooga.
should, but that's a moral argument. Logically speaking, why should Alabama go play Ohio State when they can mail it in, take a free win, and focus on their tough draw that they're going to have to play every year?
Because they shouldn't. They should not play Chattanooga for any reason ever. No reason ever.
But Joe,
that
you
is-
just said it's all about the championships and it's all about like under your system that you've created here.
Why do you think
we should be?
Yeah, why do you think Indiana and Kurt Signetti went out and canceled their home and home and with Virginia for God's sake?
Because they have no guts. They have no heart.
This is back to what we were debating before. You
Mhm.
want to take away the guts of college football.
Yes.
I don't see your point. I'm sorry. You're both on the same page here, but I don't see it.
I feel like mentally me and Theo are like locked in right
clicking.
now, but like verbally we just can't get the thought out. I
Like-
don't know how to explain it.
Joe,
because
so you've
because
created-
we should, as fans, watch the Alabama versus Ohio State game, and Alabama should be playing
When
those Ohio
has it
State.
ever been about the fans?
Isn't that what we're all about?
I'm just asking you the question. When has it ever been about the fans? If it was about the fans, I feel like a lot of things would be different.
That's
in
why
sport.
that's why we hate on Indiana, because what they've done is poo on their own fans. Greg Byrne,
I promise you, Indiana fans will be much happier if they make the playoff again and get a chance to host a game or go on the road and play a Notre Dame in the playoff again instead of playing a Virginia in September.
And lose.
Yeah.
I mean, so be it, but I'm sure Indiana fans were much more happy in January last year than Alabama fans than we were.
We're all right. So we're kind of walking in circles here because it's all centered around the same argument. What is college football about right now? If it's purely about, how far can we go in this 12-team playoff? Then we're looking at a different situation than if we can just sit back and accept, okay.
But that's what the College Football Playoff Committee did 2 days ago when they said we're going to reevaluate strength of schedule. They said we're going to reward teams who play tougher games. They basically laid it out there so that you could go play these really tough games. So that last year's 8-4 South Carolina, Ole Miss, and Alabama, their schedule was weighted heavier than SMU's Huey schedule.
Which, as it should be.
Exactly. So go play Ohio State. Don't come in. Don't go pay Chattanooga to come in and take a dump on them.
We're just rehashing the same stuff right now. I still think that this schedule right here, it's a great breath of fresh air.
Yes, Greg.
I love it. It's something that they absolutely nailed. You can have this schedule. You can have this great slate of SEC matchups, top tier competition with a very fun home and home series scheduled all the time while still maintaining the tradition of college football of bye games and helping to keep these lower level programs afloat.
Why is it our responsibility to keep Chattanooga afloat?
Because how you think that all right, let's go back to Georgia Southern, right? You think that Georgia Southern fan cares about college football as much if they're not in that same level?
Circles.
I think that, yeah, exactly. Back to this, but I think that the people who the Georgia Southern alums that I know would have rather than been in the FCS playoffs last year than be in whatever bowl game they were trying to get to, the Myrtle Beach Bowl.
I think that college football as a sport would mean so much less if you took these schools out. And I think that we, at the top, even though it may hurt us a little bit financially, right? We're losing out on some great games, probably, making more money if we go out and we play Ohio State. if we have just this huge, great conference where every team you play on the schedule could contend for a championship in any given year. But I think that the sport would mean so much less if you did that. I think that's where you lose what makes college football so special. I know we've said this about 4 times already, but I will die on that hill.
All right, well, you're dead. We need to move on, and we want to give Henry a chance to talk golf. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit a commercial break. Theo, you got a timer somewhere on your computer?
I'll get it ready.
We'll give him 90 seconds. How about
90
that?
seconds.
90 seconds to outline everything that's happening in the world of golf, because we don't care about golf.
I will say,
no. You need to be thinking about what you want to do, and you can say it all in 90 seconds.
well,
you can
it's
say
not-
everything.
This is just a.
That's fine. You can say everything in the 90 seconds. If you want to take some of your 90-second golf time to say what you want to say, that's great. We want to remind everybody this show is brought to you by Derek Daniels State Farm Insurance. We want to encourage you guys to join us tomorrow morning at St. Mark Church for the Northport Lions Club Health Fair. We're going to be doing eye screenings. We're going to be doing all kinds of things, blood pressure screenings right there at St. Mark Church. And on a couple Thursdays from now, we're going to be doing the Crimson Clash right there at 2 Dimes, a little wrestling right there. So we'll hit a little break, and then we'll come back and get Henry's 90-second approach to golf.
Northport Lions Club and St. Mark Church present a free health fair in honor of Dr. Norman and Jean Carlson, Saturday, August 23rd, 8:30 till noon. That'll be in the St. Mark Family Life Center. Northport citizens can get free eye, hearing, and blood pressure screenings, diabetes testing, and more. Now, the first 100 people get a free biscuit, and free Domino's pizza slices will be served at 11, along with free snow cones and drinks from Buffalo Rock. Sponsors include Alabama Lions Psych, Ascent Audiology, DCH Regional Medical Center, West Alabama Food Bank, Special Olympics, Northport Police Department, U of A Institute for Rural Health, the Alabama Department of Public Health, and others. A Northport Fire Department truck will be on site, and there will be lots of fun kids' activities. The Northport Lions St. Mark Health Fair. See you Saturday, August 23rd.
You need length and girth in this league.
Get ready, Tuscaloosa. New Era Wrestling presents the Crimson Clash. The hottest local wrestling show in town slams into 2 Dimes on Thursday, September 11th. Witness the chaos as social media sensation Big Trouble Ben Bishop brings his larger-than-life swagger to the ring. The man is 6'12", he weighs 15% of a metric ton and is bringing every bit to Tuscaloosa. Feel the heat when our new champion Sleazy C. Caden Newton defends the open title, and don't miss the brutal street fight between the modern-day Kings and the unstoppable force known as the Draw. It's the same weekend as Alabama hosting Wisconsin, so keep the Tuscaloosa energy high with the Crimson Clash. Doors open at 7 p.m. and the bell rings at 8 p.m. at 2 Dimes on the Strip. Grab your tickets now on Eventbrite by searching New Era Wrestling and use promo code RADIO for 20% off. New Era Wrestling, where legends are made and the battles are epic.
And Tua Tagovailoa, the quarterback, who is he's been fantastic.
He's fantastic. Welcome back. This is the Joe Gaither Show on Bama Central, BamaCentral.com. We're hanging out in the Derek Daniels State Farm Studios with Theo Fernandez and Henry Sklar. Henry wanted to talk golf. He's been asking all week, can we talk golf on the show on Friday? I like to play golf poorly, but I enjoy playing golf for sure.
We should go sometime. I got my clubs here now.
Okay, yeah, I'm game. If you want to see me shoot a 105.
Theo, you got clubs
I got
here?
clubs.
Let's
I'll
go.
probably shoot 110.
All right, there we go. Henry, are you shooting 71?
I'm not shooting 71, unfortunately. Actually, don't keep this on the low, whoever's listening still, but I haven't played a round of golf since December.
Oh,
wow. We got people who
this is the guy we brought in to talk.
We have
golf,
people
Joe?
who work
Come on.
real jobs, Henry, who haven't played golf like in 2 years. So since December is nothing. But what's the ballpark range? 85, 91,
Well, when I was
99.
playing, going into my senior year of high school or freshman year of college, actually, but it was 2 summers ago, I was playing like 3 to 4 times a week. and I was shooting in like the very high 80s, low 90s over at RTJ Oxmoor Valley in Birmingham.
There we go. So
Very nice facility.
Shooting low 90s, high 80s. Henry, we looked it up. Patrick Cantley takes 90 seconds from approach to actual shot. And so in the vein of Jessica Smetana's F1 minute, we'll give you the full time from approach, setup, looking, and the swing. To say whatever you want to say about this weekend's golf event. You can talk. You can give us an update on Justin Thomas. You can give us an update on Dunlap, right? Nick Dunlap.
He's out for the season.
Well, you can include that in your update. You can give us an update on where they're playing, on whatever you want to say. So, Theo, you got 90 seconds?
Yeah, and Henry, I'm even going to help you out here. I'm going to give you a finger up when you got 15 seconds to go, so you know when to start.
Right.
Before we roll, I will say the first ever Joe Gaither Show episode I listened to, I remember it was right after Justin Thomas won the RBC Heritage. Theo did say he was looking to learn more about golf on that episode. That's what I'm here for.
And look,
So
writing
you
those weekly roll
give me a
calls,
countdown, and I've got a button I'm going to hit to end it.
they've
Okay?
helped me. Okay. 3, 2, you're on the way.
So this week on the PGA Tour, they are out in Atlanta over at East Lake Country Club for the Tour Championship. It is the flagship event of the FedEx Cup playoffs, the final 3 events of the PGA Tour season. The top 30 players in the FedEx Cup rankings are in the field, and that means there are 2 Alabama players in the field. Currently, in a tie for 3rd place is Alabama golf alumni Justin Thomas. He is 6 under, and he is 2nd in the field in strokes gained putting. He is having an absolutely fantastic week in Atlanta. He gained 4.08 strokes yesterday putting on the green. That means every time he was putting, he was losing those strokes. And there's also former Alabama golfer Bud Colley in the field. This has been a career year for Bud. I don't think he's gotten this far in years. I believe it was 2017, 2018, the last time he got this far. But he's having he's in the field this week, so good for Bud. Also this week in golf, Alabama golf update. Dominic Clemens, Alabama golf alumnus, will be competing on the Great Britain and Ireland Walker Cup team. Clemens is from the British Isles, obviously, and it's the 50th Walker Cup. For those who are familiar with the Ryder Cup, it's essentially the Ryder Cup is Europe versus the USA, the top 12 players from each, and in the Walker Cup, Great Britain versus Ireland, they're top 12 versus the U.S. top 12, but it's only amateur players. So Dominic Clemens, Alabama golf alumni, is in that. And yeah, that's Henry Sklar's weekly golf update.
You got it in the 90 seconds.
That was impressive.
Great job. Great job.
Thank you.
All right. Anything else anybody wants to get into today? You guys wanted to beat me up, and that's great. I just want good games. I don't want to play at Chattanooga. I just want good games.
If you get me talking about this again, I'm going to be going for another.
Sure.
30 minutes.
So land the plane somewhere else.
Call it here. What do we want to land the plane on? On the Giants coming NFC East title?
Oh my gosh!
I can get out of the way if you guys want to fight right here.
I don't fight people below me. I'm focused on bigger things than that at this point.
Henry, I know you've been listening. He said a couple weeks ago 2-0 against the Giants, and then after the Mechie trade, he said, maybe just 1-1 against the Eagles. He said 2-0 against the Eagles, and then after the Mechie trade, he's like, maybe it'll just be a split.
Not that moves the needle that much, but like I think 1-1, I can live with that.
Yeah. Okay. I'm not gonna say anything.
Joe, literally, we picked the whole schedule, right? And Joe was trying to make his point. Losing season coming for the Giants. Then he ended at 9-8.
I will say, I don't know if I'm going to have the Giants at a winning record, but I do think regardless, it's going to be a fun season. The Giants may go 7-10, 8-9, but it's going to be the funnest 7-10, 8-9 that the Giants fans have had for a while.
Yeah, and that's what I'm so excited about because 2022 was a fun year, right? Making the playoffs
and then losing to us for a 3rd time.
Yeah, that never. We're forgetting that happened.
The
last 2 years. Have just
not to bring it back to my roommate, but Anthony, I was projecting YouTube videos on the TV the other day. We were watching Miracle at the New Meadowlands, Deshaun Jackson 2010 clips. That was my first ever football game I remember.
Hey, what happened the year after though?
You beat us 41-7 in week 17.
It is it was.
And then you won a ring.
And then we won a ring.
But I'll take my 2 cents then.
Yeah, so I really do hope you enjoyed those, Henry, because you're never going to see another one in your lifetime.
Shoot, at this rate, how many have we won in the last 7 years? 2 rings. I don't know where we're going to be in the
And
next.
how
7,
many did
but
you win in the 55 years before that? That's where coming up.
Greatness
on again
takes
right now.
time, Theo. Greatness takes time.
Yeah, your time is up, buddy.
Here's my question, Henry. You have been wearing headphones this whole day, which is fine. Have you been hearing the show through his computer this whole time?
Yes.
Why do you still have your volume on your computer?
Now it's gone.
90%.
I've been hearing the echo the entire show. I've been thinking, surely he muted his computer. What's going on over there?
Man, I could have used a heads up on this earlier. Damn.
I did
We
give you the
did.
heads up right when I was like, is somebody playing something? And you closed out of the video, but you left the volume on your
Okay,
on the
well-
thing. And I guess you've been clicked to our show. You're one of the many viewers right here on the show.
Just trying to get our numbers
You're
up
juicing the numbers over here. We want an accurate representation of people. Come on, man.
Rookie mistake.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Just realized I made a mistake in my golf 90 seconds.
Yeah, we don't care. You're gonna have
Yeah.
to say it next week. You're gonna have to get back to it next week if you join us again.
All right, next week.
You'll be invited. We'll invite you back. Next week's the first Football Friday. Really, we got week 0 games. Oh, come on, yeah, pull up a week 0 schedule real quick.
Kansas State,
let's-
Iowa State,
let's-
and Ireland, baby.
let's-
Let's go.
let's knock this out in like 2 minutes or
That's
less.
my heritage
You're
right
Irish,
there.
right?
Ireland.
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's go. I'll be tuned into that.
What does that have anything to do with the two teams that are playing?
It's Ireland. We got to show. We got to support. The ultras are going to be crazy over there. Pints of Guinness. I saw a crazy picture yesterday of a pint of Guinness, but screen printed on the foam was a Kansas State logo.
Wow.
Pretty sick.
Let's look at these week
Let's-
0 games.
It's I can do it off the top of my head. It's Stanford, Hawaii, Iowa State, Kansas State, and what's the third game? Boise versus South Florida.
Yeah.
Tampa. Let's go.
Now, all right, here's how we're landing the plan. Iowa State, Kansas State, Farmageddon. They've played 109 years in a row. Starting in 2027, that game is gone because the Big 12 was not able to create a schedule that protects their rivalries. That is kind of heartbreaking.
Alabama better never have a year where they're not playing Tennessee.
Yeah, could you imagine? There'd be riots.
I
in
would
the
be
streets, right?
leading the charge.
Yeah, as you should.
All right, so we're picking Kansas State, Iowa State. Henry, Kansas State, 3-point favorites. Chop, 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 chop. I don't need a huge analysis.
Give me Avery Johnson and Kansas State.
Here we
Going
go.
Iowa State. I'll pick the upset.
I'll be with you, Henry. Kansas State. Let's go. Idaho State, UNLV. UNLV, 26.5-point favorites. We all taking the running Rebs?
Yeah, Alex
Skip it. It's an
Orchard.
FCS team.
Yeah.
We don't
Oh,
care
yeah,
about
yeah,
those.
Exactly.
They're not really
Exactly.
matter.
We don't even care about thinking about it. Kansas is hosting Fresno State. Kansas, a 13-point favorite on Fox at 5:30. Henry Sklar, who are we going with?
First game in the new stadium. Give me Kansas.
Absolutely. Rock chalk.
I'll go Kansas too.
I am currently the head coach of the Kansas Jayhawks in our connected franchise. So, and we won the first national championship among the users. We all took 1-star teams to start it with, and then we jumped to the next team that we could. I jumped from Wyoming to Kansas, so we're Rock Chalk Jayhawk all day long. Western Kentucky and Sam Houston, another FCS team that we don't care about. Are we all taking the Hilltoppers at 10.5-point favorites?
Yeah, I'll take them.
Yeah, Western Kentucky.
There we go. And then lastly, Stanford, Hawaii. You get some. Well, that's not that late. 6:30. Stanford, Hawaii. 2.5-point favorites. Theo.
I'll go Hawaii. I think the ACC starts the season off with a tough loss.
I'm going to go Stanford. I still don't trust Hawaii since they're playing in a literal soccer stadium.
Yeah, I'll take Hawaii as well. So we're all taking different teams really throughout the weekend, and we hope you enjoy the weekend action. You can see me on WVUA 23 tonight. We'll be doing Friday Night Football. We'll be recapping County High and Central. There's going to be a huge slate of AHSAA games, and then really next week will be the first full Football Friday where we talk about Alabama, Florida State. We talk about Oklahoma, Texas, hook 'em baby, and we talk about all the other games that are happening in Week 1. We've had a lot of fun. Go follow Henry Sklar at Henry O. Sklar on the Twitter machine. Follow Theo Fernandez at Theo Fernandez _. Myself at Joe Gaither 6. You can find the show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon. You can find the show on YouTube. You can find the show on the Bama Central Facebook page. Leave us a voicemail over the weekend, 205-462-7340, extension 800, and we will talk to you on Monday on the Joe Gaither Show on Bama Central and BamaCentral.com.
Thanks for joining us on today's edition of The Joe Gaither Show on Bama Central. Keep up with Joe on all his social media pages at Joe Gaither6. Subscribe, rate, and review the show on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, and be sure to read us daily at BamaCentral.com.